And now coming up is our final race of today, which will be the MK Mini GP70. And it's our final race of the day, the final first race of this season opener here at Lydd. We are just waiting now for the riders to make their way out on their outlap, ready to set their grid positions.
Absolutely, this is the premier class for junior riders here at the MasterMac FAB-Racing Mini Bike British Championship. This is the one that the world is watching, because this is where the stars of tomorrow are today. The Mini GP70s is what it all comes down to at the end of Saturday's action. And on the right-hand side of your picture, the number 15 of Harrison Day. That's the man that looks like he's going to be in charge this weekend. Pole position by half a second. As we make our way around, let us run through the grid. As I just mentioned, it is Harrison Day that starts on pole. Travis Shaw from P2 on the number 4 bike. Frankie Watson starts third with Taylor Tomlinson in P4. Logan Cousins will be fifth with Byron Johnson in P6. Leo Soliu starts seventh with Archie Hooper in P8. Riley Paisley and Taylor Davies round out the top 10 with Matthew Thomas and Harris Watson rounding out our grid of 12 riders. Izzy, this could be very exciting. It's the first race of the Premier Series here at FAB-Racing. It
definitely will be a very exciting race, as you just said. I think let's just quickly mention the lap record that was set here by Luke Fitcher in 2023 of 40.756 seconds. I wonder if any of our riders here today will be able to beat it, Ross.
We'll have to wait and see. It could be close. I mean, we've just seen Goslavsky take the lap record in the 50s. So maybe someone is up for the challenge in the 70s as well. Harrison Day, he's been supremely confident all weekend since he strutted into this paddock. He's just had this air around him. He looks like he knows what he's doing. But Travis Shaw alongside will be fierce competition. And as always in the 70s, it is a fierce grid. Lee Clowes, the flag marshal, gets ready to send them on their way. The final race of Saturday's action, and it is the big one. It's time to get going in 2025 for the Mini GP70s. The red lights come on, and they do go out. We are on the way. Oh, stalling on the grid. Frankie Watson, all of the bikes managing to get out of the way and avoid him. But that is such a shame for the number 14, a disappointing way to start the season. And amidst all that chaos, that has opened a big gap up for Harrison Day, who got away very cleanly and will hold on to the lead as they come now into the sweeping S's section. Looks like everybody else gets away okay. No one really challenging for moves just yet. Everyone just holding on, waiting to see where they fan out where the race pace is, and then they can start pushing for overtakes.
Indeed they can. Harrison Day had a brilliant start there. Flying he went, and he is now holding on to that first place. Very much a little battle we have got going on there, but everybody seems to have started to find their rhythm and figure out their place on the grid. Currently we have Harrison Day in first, and following him in second is Travis Shaw, with Taylor Tomlinson hot on his tail in third place.
That was a lovely move by Tomlinson at the final corner to slide up into the podium positions on the inside of Byron Johnson, and maybe, just maybe, he's looking to try and get past the 4 of Travis Shaw as well. Tomlinson is on a charge early doors in this race as they come onto the back stretch. 3 of them all in the tow, trying to push forward. Tomlinson will be too far back, but does look to the inside anyway. Just sees what the grip's like, sees if maybe there's an opportunity. They'll head on across the line. 10 laps left to go. Harrison Day's lead already up to 2.8 seconds. Tomlinson seems to be, at the moment, the second quickest bike on the circuit. If he wants to try and catch the race leader, he needs to get through Travis Shaw quickly.
He doesn't, and he's making the move right now, and Taylor Tomlinson has took second place from Travis Shaw, number 4. What a brilliant move that was. Straight up the inside he went to take that position from Travis Shaw. He is now making that gap grow a bit bigger, but Travis Shaw on the number 4 is not taking this lightly. He is straight hot on the tail of Taylor Tomlinson to get that second place back from him. Harrison Day still out in first place.
Absolutely. Great move there by Taylor Tomlinson, but still under some pressure from behind. Shaw maybe trying to return the favour and return the message to the centre, getting back into second place. Great to see Tomlinson running so well, though. Last year, who had had, by what the 77 standards were, a disappointing season. A former FAB-Racing Rookies Cup champion just couldn't quite get it hooked up, but now straight away fighting for the podium places. There we do see the 14 of Frankie Watson that in front of him. They are fighting down at the bottom end of the pack. I believe that is Logan Cousins on the 7, and indeed it is. Frankie Watson, of course, started high up the grid but stalled, managed to get going again, and on this recovery ride doing a fantastic job. He's now up, I believe it's a P6. Great stuff from him. Up the front, it's still Day from Tomlinson, from Shaw, your top 3. 8 laps left to go here at Lydd.
Indeed, there is. Right now on your screen, you can see the number 36, Leo Soliu. He has got a bit of a gap building on from Logan Cousins and Frankie Watson, number 7 and number 14, making his debut this week. And let's see what continues to happen. 7 laps now to go. Harrison Day still holding on to that first place. He has left everybody else for dust and he's just looking to get his first win back at Lydd for the start of this season. Coming around the corner now, and here we go. We've got a little battle still going on between number 77 and number 4, Travis Shaw, for that second place. Taylor is holding on to that second place for dear life after he took it off Travis Shaw just a couple of laps ago. Byron Johnson on the number 37 is holding on and he's hot on their tails, but he's not quite there to get into this battle yet.
No, not quite just yet, but maybe getting closer. He's been on the back of them for quite some time, but just a little bit outside of the picture, just a little bit too far back, but now starting to catch them. 6 laps left to go, and Harrison Day continuing to extend that gap at the front, now up to 6.4 seconds. Doesn't help that the 3 riders behind him are fighting fiercely, but again, he is in complete control of this race. Harrison Day making the 70s his own as it stands. The number 15 flying at the front, but also flying the 77, the 4, and the 37 of Taylor Tomlinson, Travis Shaw, and Byron Johnson. No moves made into the final corner on this lap. It'll be 5 to go at the line. Look at the accordion effect. All of them squeezing together at the mid-corner before pulling apart once again as they file on out. At any moment, someone could launch a move and make this battle change. At the flip of a coin, it could be a completely different story to this race. But right now, Tomlinson just about holding on from Shaw, just about holding on from Johnson.
Indeed, and Tomlinson is wanting to hold on to that second place for dear life, especially after he took it off Travis Shaw. But Shaw is not going to stand for that. He is going to do everything he can to get back on Taylor Tomlinson and get past him to have second place back. Currently, it's looking like our top 3 are going to be in first place Harrison Day, second place Taylor Tomlinson, and third place Travis Shaw. We have got 4 laps left to go. Let's continue watching what's happening. Still, Taylor Tomlinson, the number 77, holding on to that second place over the number 4 of Travis Shaw. But Shaw is getting closer and closer constantly. He is wanting to do everything he can to take the number 2 position back off Taylor Tomlinson. Behind them is the number 37, Byron Johnson. He is wanting to be involved in this fight, but he is not getting there just quite yet. And Harrison Day in first place has just set a fastest lap of 40.758. These 3, though, fighting for second position, the number 77, 4 and 37 of Taylor Tomlinson, Travis Shaw and Byron Johnson, are still going on. This has been happening for most of the race so far, but Tomlinson is not giving up easily. He's been very defensive of his position.
Harrison Day's last lap was 2 thousandths off of matching the lap record here set by Luke Fitchett back in 2023. Will Flatcap's record fall on this tour? Maybe. No, it won't. A little bit slower on that tour. But just goes to show as he starts the penultimate lap how quick Harrison Day has been so far this weekend. And in race number 1, he is dominating at the front, but it is all action in the battle for P2 and the battle for the podium places. Tomlinson still holding on in front of Shaw. Those 2 were able to pull away from Byron Johnson a little bit a couple of laps ago, but he is closed right back in the 37, hunting for a podium in the opening race of the season as they make their way into the S's. Look at them like synchronized swimmers, all of them sweeping through in a line. but no one able to gain an edge just yet. Little bit of a run there from Travis Shaw. Does he fancy a move to the inside? Does look, but not quite close enough as Harrison Day starts the final lap.
This is very interesting indeed. Like Ross just said, Shaw getting closer and closer to Taylor Tomlinson in that fight for second position. We are on the last lap now. This is the lap that decides our podium positions. There is Harrison Day out in front, leading this last lap with absolute ease. It is going to be an amazing victory for here at the first race in Lydd. And here we go, Harrison Day takes the checkered flag, taking first place at this first race in Lydd. That will be an amazing moment for him, but let's see who is going to take that second position, and it is Taylor Tomlinson with Travis Shaw coming in third. What a brilliant race that was there.
Man, oh man, Harrison Day, talk about introducing yourself in 2025. Victory by over 10 seconds for the number 15. Unbelievable riding on display from him as Harrison Day makes it a fantastic win in race number 1. Taylor Tomlinson brought it home in second place ahead of Travis Shaw by just over a tenth of a second, himself holding on to that podium place by just 2/10 from Byron Johnson in P4. Frankie Watson, great recovery ride to 5th place with Leo Solio in P6, Logan Cousins 7th, Matthew Thomas in P8, Archie Hooper was 9th, and Taylor Davies rounding out the top 10. Harris Watson just outside in P11, and unfortunately we did lose Riley Paisley as a DNF. But Harrison Day stamps his authority down on 2025 in only the first race of the season with a commanding victory. If the rest of the 70s field wasn't watching before, they will be watching now. Harrison Day has just put in a masterclass here in the MasterMac FAB-Racing Mini Bikes British Championship and takes the win in the Mini GP70s. What a race. Of course, they've got 2 more to come this weekend on Sunday. Can anybody stop the number 15, Harrison Day? Time then for the Premier Class. Race number 2 awaits us in where the racing, it's all the one that they all want to watch. It is, of course, the MetroKit Mini GP70s. And it's all eyes on that boy on the right-hand side of your screen. Harrison Day has been dominant so far this weekend. And there is a fair few riders out there who are also feeling pretty confident. And, of course, anything can happen. Let's see if someone can stop the 15.
Indeed, let's see exactly, Ross. Yesterday in race 1, we saw Harrison Day absolutely dominate everyone to take home that first place position in this race. They are just waiting now to get ready to go out on their out lap and form the grid for today's race. And it's the second race for these guys this weekend. Let's just quickly run through our grid. On pole position, we have Harrison Day on the number 15. Second place, we have Travis Shaw on the number 4. Third place, we have Frankie Watson. Fourth place, we have Taylor Tomlinson. In 5th place, we have Logan Cousins. And in 6th place will be Byron Johnson. Starting 7th today will be Lee Soliu, and in 8th we will have Archie Hooper. 9th we will see Riley Paisley, 10th Taylor Davis, and 11th we will see Matthew Thomas. Rounding out our riders for today is Harris Watson starting 12th. They are just coming out now onto this lap, coming round towards the bottom end of the track to come round and come back up ready to start this second race for them this weekend.
Harrison Day, the 15 from pole, looking really, really confident. Travis Shaw, the racing so far for this weekend for Travis Shaw, I think he'll be a little bit disappointed given his pace in qualifying. It's just not quite gone his way so far. He'll be hoping to try and improve that in this one. And of course, the likes of Frankie Watson, Taylor Tomlinson, Logan Cousins, all very, very quick riders in their own right. But that number 15 off of pole, well, he is looking dominant. He is looking confident. We spoke to him earlier in the weekend and he was feeling great. Of course, he's doing a fantastic job out there and he's looking ready to get racing.
He is indeed. They are just coming now, completing that grid. We've got a flag bearer and Lee waiting for everyone to get there, ready to move off to the side, wait for those red lights to go out, and away we will go for the second race of the Mini GP70s. These are the ones everyone are wanting to watch and see. Let's see what is happening today. There is Harrison Day on that pole position, waiting to see, waiting to get ready and head off on this second race. Just looking up to race control, waiting for their confirmation, and then we will be off racing. Let's see what happens for this one. Lee still waiting for that confirmation from race control. We will have an epic battle ahead with these guys racing in the Mini GP70. She has moved off to the side, just waiting there at the red lights. And lights out and away we go. Harrison Day, is he going to hold on? Yes, he has. Harrison Day holding on to that first place position and moving away from the pack on this first lap of racing. What a brilliant start that was for him to hold on to that first position and move away. Travis Shaw on the number 4 has dropped down into second position. In front of him is the number 14 of Frankie Watson.
Yeah, fast starting Frankie Watson once again. We've seen it all across this weekend so far from him. Once again, just nailing the launch away from the lights and sliding up into second place. But Harrison Day just about able to hold on into turn 1, and now he can get his head down, hit his marks and ride away at the front unless Frankie Watson can chase. We'll have to wait and see. Travis Shaw holding on to third place at the moment. That's Taylor Tomlinson and Logan Cousins behind, two very fierce competitors. Travis Shaw doing a great job defensively early doors. 11 laps left to run in this race. This looks to be where the early battle is opening up in the fight for third.
Definitely is. So in this fight for third, we have Travis Shaw, Taylor Tomlinson and Logan Cousins. Leading them is Travis Shaw. He wants to hold on to this position, do the same as what he did in race 1 of yesterday. Hot on his tail though is Taylor Tomlinson on the number 77, and he has made the move and he has took that third place away from Travis Shaw. Taylor Tomlinson now runs third in this race ahead of Travis Shaw and Logan Cousins, who is in 5th.
Beautiful move from Tomlinson up into the podium places, but not done yet. Still under huge pressure from behind. Shaw and Cousins right in tow and could be causing issues. These guys could be trading places every single lap if we're not careful. And Frankie Watson not too far ahead. If Tomlinson's got the pace, he could try and catch up, and the likes of Shaw, the likes of Cousins could just try and follow him through the pack. We'll have to wait and see as they make their way down the back straight onto the brakes in the last corner. Cousins really closing up to the back of Shaw there. Looks confident on the brakes. Does the number 7. 9 laps left to run for these guys. Up the front, Harrison Day, 2.5 second gap and a 40.505 fastest lap time. Only rider into the 40s. The next best lap time so far, a 41.3 from Frankie Watson in P2.
Definitely so. 9 laps to go of this race. Taylor Tomlinson Hill holding on to that third position, getting a little gap forming ahead of Travis Shaw. Logan Cousins on the number 7 is fighting his way though to try and get past Travis Shaw to get up and then chase Taylor Tomlinson to get up on that podium position. But Taylor Tomlinson absolutely brilliantly into that final corner of the circuit is holding on to that third position as best as he can. Brilliant battle we are seeing here. 3-way battle for that third position. Harrison Day though right out in front, a brilliant lead he is building in this race. A 2.823 second gap between him and Frankie Watson in second position.
That fastest lap from Harrison Day as well, must be said. Another lap record being broken this weekend. Takes away the record set by Luke Flatcap Fitchett back in 2023, a 40.505, 2 tenths quicker than the previous standing. Onto the back straight we go in this battle for third. Shaw looks to the inside, does get laid on the brakes, and we cut away to see our race leader, of course, setting that lap record and setting very consistent times as well. A 40.565 on the previous lap. Harrison Day just looks imperious up the front of this race. No problems whatsoever. A huge gap back, 3.5 seconds. The gap between third and fourth, 2/10 at the line. So that's where the real battle is in this race at the moment. Harrison Day, well, he's not really cruising. He's pushing himself really hard and really consistently. He wants to race the best race he can, but with no competition around him, it's looking pretty comfortable for him at the moment.
It is indeed. Like you just said, he's very comfortable in this lead, and now they are just come round and we've got 6 laps left to go. He has built a gap of 4.178 seconds between him and Frankie Watson in second. And what brilliant this is to see that fight for third position is continuing. We've got Taylor Tomlinson out in front, but hot on his tail is the number 7 of Logan Cousins, who got past Travis Shaw a little earlier in the race, and Logan Cousins is going to try and make that move, but doesn't quite have the gap to do so, to take that third position from Taylor Tomlinson. Brilliant battle we are seeing here between these 3 riders, all wanting to do the best they can in this second race for the Mini GP70s.
Yeah, Logan Cousins just had to sit up a little bit there on the inside of Taylor Tomlinson. Another gap, another little sit-up. It's not quite big enough for the 7 to slide through as Travis Shaw, his woes continue, still in this fight, but dropping more places. A real shame for the number 4. Tomlinson opens a slight gap as they run into the second chicane section down at the far end of the circuit. And was there a mistake there from Logan Cousins? He's dropped back just a little bit on the exit there, so now he has to go defensive from Travis Shaw. Tomlinson has breathing room behind as they head through the sweepers, the fastest corners on this racetrack, before it's flat out down the backstretch, banging through the gears on this 2-stroke 5-geared Mini GP70 bike. Looks like, though, Cousins will be safe from Shaw for the time being. 4 laps to go, the battle for P3. It rages on here.
You could see then Shaw was doing everything he could to push the absolute most out of his bike, but he is still not quite there to catch up with Logan Cousins. This battle, though, is lasting for most of this race, and it is absolutely brilliant. Taylor Tomlinson did have a bit of a gap, but it's not quite there anymore. Logan Cousins comes round, is trying desperately to take that third place away from him. Through the corners he goes, but he is not quite there yet to have the gap ready to take it away from Taylor Tomlinson. Here they come up the back straight. Tomlinson has got quite a gap formed now on Logan Cousins. Into that final corner, though, Cousins closes that gap as much as he can to come back round to start their third lap left to go of this race.
Yeah, really, really tight. Is time running out for Logan Cousins? Can Tomlinson hold on? Can Travis Shaw recover back into third place? We'll have to wait and see. Harrison Day, 5.8 seconds is his advantage over Frankie Watson in P2. Frankie Watson himself has a 4.3 second gap back to Taylor Tomlinson, who's now facing real pressure from Logan Cousins, who's having a blinding lap here coming onto the back straight. Tomlinson tries to break the toe a little bit. Cousins will not be close enough as they are about to head onto their penultimate lap, but Cousins starting to apply that pressure, getting closer and closer and closer. Tomlinson, surely, maybe the thoughts of the 7 just starting to hit the back of his mind.
Indeed, they are absolutely 2 laps left to go. Cousins is going to do everything he can, hunt down Tomlinson to try and take that third position. He's right on his back tail, coming around there, and it's absolutely brilliant. Here is our leader, though, Harrison Day, absolutely flying ahead of the rest of our riders. He's doing absolutely brilliantly, beginning his last lap of this second race for the Mini GP70s. Brilliant lead he's built so far today, and he is absolutely shining right now as he comes through, gets past that little bit of traffic that was very close there. Harrison Day has to be careful here coming past that traffic to hold on to his first place, and he is through and can finish that last lap here at Lydd. Coming around now onto that final back straight and into that last corner. What a brilliant day we have seen so far, and what a brilliant race this has been for Harrison Day, and he crosses the line, taking the checkered flag, taking the first position of this race. We are still just waiting, and Frankie Watson has now just crossed the line, taking second position. Third place we have Taylor Tomlinson. Following him, Logan Cousins didn't quite manage to take that third place away from Tomlinson in this second race. There is Harrison Day just slowing down on this cool-down lap.
Wow, what a ride once again from Harrison Day as he dominates up the front of the pack. 5.5 seconds the winning margin. and of course a lap record to boot in that race as well. Frankie Watson finishes in second place as Taylor Tomlinson holds on the 77 to complete the podium. Logan Cousins was in P4 with Travis Shaw P5, Leo Solu 6th, Matthew Thomas in P7, Archie Hooper 8th, Taylor Davison P9, and Harris Watson, our 10th and final rider, finishing a lap down there at the end. You saw him trying to fight with Harrison Day just a little bit on the last lap. But as Harrison comes in, celebrates with his family, with his team, his dad Josh will be delighted with his performances this weekend. I'm sure they came in knowing they were fast, but I don't think they knew they were this quick. It has been unreal pace from that number 15. As the rest of the riders come on in, there is Taylor Tomlinson, the 77. A great result for him to be back on the podium. Of course, they've got one more race in the Premier class here of the Mini GP70s on the road to MotoGP. They'll be back out a little bit later on for their race number 3.
Once again, we are doing the last race of the day, the Mini GP70, where everybody racing with FAB-Racing wants to be. We will see them in just a moment begin their outlap. Here they go. Let's just run through our grid for this last race. Pole position, we have got Harrison Day. Second, we have got Travis Shaw. Third, we have got Frankie Watson. Fourth, Taylor Tomlinson. Fifth, we have got Logan Cousins. Sixth, Byron Johnson. Seventh, Leo Soliu. Eighth, Archie Hooper. Ninth, Riley Paisley. 10th, Taylor Taylor. 11th, Matthew Thomas. And 12th, Harris Watson. What brilliant stuff we have seen from these guys already this weekend. Mini GP70 is where everybody wants to be, Ross.
It absolutely is, but I do just want to keep an eye on Harrison Day. He did have an off in the final Amphibian Extreme 200 race, and quite a big off at that. Of course, great to see that he's okay, that he's back on the bike, that he's fine, that he's ready to go racing, but possible that it may have knocked his confidence just a little bit. But again, we'll wait and see. He may just get back on, brush it off, go racing again. Harrison does sometimes seem like that kind of kid, but those things don't get to him. So we'll wait and see, of course, starting from pole position. But maybe, just maybe, the confidence wavering just a little bit. We can see the likes of Travis Shaw or Frankie Watson giving the win a go.
Exactly, and you can see Harrison Day there, focused. He is ready to go. We are doing another outlap before the race start. Let's see what's going to happen here. We are not quite sure what's happening currently, but we know they are doing another outlap to come back around to the grid. Harrison Day, like Ross was saying, did have an off earlier today, and he was quite a bad one, but he is back on the bike ready for this Mini GP70 race, the last one of today. Ross, what is going on?
Well, we're doing another sighting lap. I'm assuming that because we had that big off in the 50s race right at the start, they had to put sand and dust down to clear up fluid, and obviously that changes the nature of the circuit. So I'm assuming that they're just giving them another sighting lap so they can just get used to where that sand and dust has gone down and the effects that that has, just to make sure that no one gets there, suddenly has no grip and, you know, face plants. Wouldn't be ideal. So I'm assuming that's why we had another sighting lap. Procedure for most of this weekend has been you outlap to the grid and then it's going racing. But this time we did have one more sighting lap. I think it caught some of the riders out a little bit as well as us here in the commentary box. But it's the last race. I'm sure it'll all be fine. Lee Clowes gets ready to send them off for the final race of the weekend. It is lights out and we're on the way. Great start there from Harrison Day. Travis Shaw slots into second place as well. Frankie Watson, he's been fast starting all weekend, but that one was a little disappointing by his standards. Still holds on to that third place though. Harrison Day leads the train through the second chicane and now into the hairpin down the bottom end of the racetrack. Maybe a move being made there by Logan Cousins. He certainly thought about having a look on the rider in front, but just couldn't quite find a way through. They're all going to hold formation as they make their way onto the back straight, but Harrison Day leads this race away from pole.
He does indeed. Brilliant start from him after his off earlier. You can tell he is focused again and is ready to go in this final race of today. What stuff we are seeing right Right now, Harrison Day leading on that number 15 ahead of the number 4 of Travis Shaw. Close on Shaw's tail, though, is Frankie Watson, currently sitting in third place, who did just set fastest lap of 42.830 seconds. He is hungry for another podium today, and he's hungry to get that second place away from Travis Shaw. We have got 11 laps here to go in this final race of the MK Mini GP70 this weekend here at Lydd. Brilliant stuff we are seeing so far. Travis Shaw holding on to that second position in front of Frankie Watson. Frankie Watson on the number 14 is going to do everything he can. He's chasing down Travis Shaw, but it isn't quite there yet for him.
Yeah, real big pressure on Travis Shaw at the moment. Archie Hooper, who had a great start from 8th on the grid. He got up to 5th place at one point. He's now back down to 8th. A real shame for him. But up the front of the pack, it's Harrison Day who leads. Travis Shaw in P2. And Frankie Watson, well, he was P3 and now he is P2 because that was a lovely move. But Travis Shaw left the door wide open. The 40 went, thanks very much, and just slid straight up the inside. So Frankie Watson now up into second place, continuing a fantastic weekend that he's having. Watch Taylor Tomlinson as well. Currently P4, the 77, running it very quickly as it stands. He could be on the back of Travis Shaw and fighting for a podium in not very long at all.
Yeah, we could see this turning from this battle between these two in second position, the two of them into a three-way battle. Taylor Tomlinson running in fourth, wants to catch up with Travis Shaw and take that third place away from him. 9 laps left to go here at Lydd. Here we can see our front runner of this race, Harrison Day, on that bike. Absolute super performance from him in this race. So far, he is doing everything he can to get a race win in this Mini GP70 Championship. Lovely stuff from him. He has got a comfortable lead building. 2.342 seconds between him and Frankie Watson. Could this be Harrison's day today? Could he get this win?
We'll have to wait and see. I don't think his confidence has been knocked after that off earlier on today, but I think he's definitely taking it easier than he has been all weekend, because looking at the lap times, he's running very similar times to everyone else, so he's built up enough of a gap where he's not under any pressure, and now he's just bringing it back in, just bringing it home, as there we see Travis Shaw now under big pressure from Taylor Tomlinson behind, who looks to the inside. Little bit too late to make that move, but Tomlinson is placing Shaw under real pressure. Shaw has really struggled this weekend in the races, unfortunately for him. He's just seemingly gone backwards despite his best efforts, and Tomlinson looking to add to his woes. 7 laps left to go. The 77 is all over the back of the 4 and will surely be past him soon.
He is indeed, Taylor Tomlinson, hungry for that third place position. Travis Shaw has got to defend the best he can in these 7 laps left of this race. I wonder if Tomlinson will be able to take it from him. Back straight, they are doing everything. Tomlinson up on the inside, taking that position away from Travis Shaw. Now we have 6 laps left to go. Taylor Tomlinson and now running in third in this race, with Travis Shaw following behind him in 4th place. Let's see if Taylor Tomlinson can catch up with Frankie Watson and continue this battle during this race. He's got a comfortable gap building ahead of Travis Shaw. Shaw will want to try and do everything he can to take that 3rd place back, but Tomlinson did it. He got it, saw a gap, went for it, and is now in 3rd place.
Superb riding from that young man, Taylor Tomlinson, but a little bit deep on the exit of the sweepers. Just allowed Travis Shaw a look, but Tomlinson then closed the door, stopped him from getting through. 5 laps left to go. Harrison Day has definitely wound it back a little bit, doesn't want to risk having a crash again. Smart racing from the young rider, who this season is factory RST and RI supported as well. It's all going his way in 2025 so far. Frankie Watson doing a great job in 2nd place as well, and this battle for 3rd place, it rages on. Can Travis Shaw try and find a way back through Taylor Tomlinson? Or can Tomlinson pull away on the 77 and make that third place, that podium his own? We'll have to wait to see down the back straight. Oh, great run there from Travis Shaw, but Tomlinson to the inside, not always a guarantee, but Tomlinson shoves the 4 out wide. The 4 tries to get underneath him, just not quite enough there for, unfortunately, Taylor Tomlinson holds on.
Yeah, 4 laps left to go. Taylor Tomlinson is defending with all he has. He does not want to let Shaw go through. He is keeping that door firmly shut and saying, stay away, this is my position for this race. Brilliant stuff we are seeing from them so far. Travis Shaw, though, he is going to try and find any gap he finds. If a gap exists, he may well go for it to get that third position back, get that final podium spot away from Taylor Tomlinson on the number 77. Taylor Tomlinson, though, great defence we have got from him right now. We have got 3 laps left to go. A brilliant show we have seen from these guys in the MK Mini GP70 class here at Lydd. Taylor Tomlinson holding on to that third place ahead of Travis Shaw. I wonder if Shaw will be able to get it back. We will see what will happen. Harrison Day, currently leading in first, has a gap of 3.864 seconds ahead of Frankie Watson in second place. Taylor Tomlinson running 8 seconds behind Harrison Day.
Absolutely, 2 laps left to run at the line for these two. Travis Shaw continuing to put Tomlinson under big pressure, and while they're fighting, Logan Cousins is not that far behind, although it might be a little bit too late to introduce himself in this scrap for the podium as they make their way to the second chicane. Tomlinson absorbing this pressure beautifully well. It's the reverse of what we saw some laps ago. Tomlinson once the hunter, now the hunted, but in doing a great job to keep the 4 at bay. Shaw looks to the inside at the right-hand sweeper, can't find anything there as Tomlinson closes the door now onto the back straight. We see some great runs here from Travis Shaw as Harrison Day starts his final lap. Maybe this is the time he can slide through.
Maybe it could just be, like Ross just said, Harrison Day has started his final lap here. The final lap of racing we have got at Lydd circuit of this weekend. Brilliant performance from Harrison Day in this race after his off earlier today. What stuff we have seen so far.
Absolutely, he has been imperious at the front. Harrison Day, despite an off earlier today, well, he's just started and not looked back. 2 wins so far from 2 dominant moments, and make that 3. Harrison Day puts a cap on an excellent weekend and sweeps it in the 70s and says, hello, I'm here and I'm favourite for the championship, as Taylor Tomlinson will hold on to P3 at the line by only 65 thousandths of a second. Great racing there from Taylor Tomlinson and Travis Shaw. As Frankie Watson holds on to second place, it is Harrison Day who dominates here at Lydd and will be going home a very happy boy, because all eyes are on him today. He has been absolutely remarkable. It is Harrison Day who takes victory. Frankie Watson and Taylor Tomlinson rounding out the podium places. Travis Shaw was 4th with Matthew Thomas P5, Leo Soyu P6, Logan Cousins 7th, Archie Hooper 8th, Harris Watson was 9th, and Taylor Davies in P10. That wraps up the action for the Mini GP70s here in FAB-Racing in Lydd. Boy, oh boy, what a time we have just seen. What a race, and Harrison Day, what a weekend.
Indeed, it was a brilliant weekend of racing we have seen at Lydd circuit. Here are the MK Mini GP70 just coming in now. Harrison Day being recognised for the absolute stunning performance he has just done in that race. Everybody coming down to see and applaud him for the work he has done in the race 3. These are the guys we will be watching for the future. Like we said, the MasterMac FAB-Racing Mini Bike Championship, we are the road to MotoGP. These guys, we will be seeing them in the future racing high and mighty.
Absolutely, what a weekend, what a way to kickstart the 2025 MasterMac FAB-Racing Mini Bike British Championship. There we see Harrison Day just being shown something by his dad Josh on the phone. I think he just wants to show him something, or he's actually getting some telemetry off the bike. My mistake there. So just making sure that everything's all okay. But yeah, Harrison Day, Wow, what a way to put a cap on a ridiculously brilliant weekend as the top three take photos. Frankie Watson can also be very happy. He's put in a fantastic show, and Taylor Tomlinson a few podiums this weekend as well. He can be delighted on that number 77. And boy, oh boy, do we have a 70s season on our hand. Can anybody stop Harrison Day in 2025?
We will have to wait and see indeed, Ross. But what brilliant weekend of racing we have seen across all classes this weekend. Brilliant stuff. What an enjoyable weekend we have seen. In a couple of weeks we will be back racing on round 2. Friday, May 30th will start at Ella Park in Suffolk, on the Saturday, May 31st, and Sunday, June 1st.